forgiveness is and isn't. So we're clear on what it is we're being asked to do here. See, you're being asked for your scissors, okay? The scissors that you're running with and hurting yourself with. Those scissors are not forgiving. Those scissors are not revisioning your past as a happy one instead of an unhappy one. That's the scissors. So I'm asking you, please give me your scissors. And you're going, I don't know. I don't know. You have to tell me more, all right? So here's a little bit more. What forgiveness is and isn't. So this one will be good. This one you'll make you feel better immediately, okay? I don't really want to forgive them. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's not forgetting, okay? You don't have to go through some like lobotomy. Okay, just say like, oh, that actually didn't happen. See, that's not it. It's not to just forget. Here's a quote from, maybe some of you know Thomas Szasz. Thomas Szasz was a very famous alternative psychotherapist, alternative psychotherapy. He said, the stupid neither forgive nor forget. Neither forgive, nor, that's mostly us. The stupid neither forgive nor forget. The naive forgive and forget. Okay? The wise forgive but do not forget. Okay? So it's not forgetting. It's not forgetting to forgive. But it's necessary to forgive. Okay? So feeling better already? Okay, you don't have to forget anything. You don't have to become brain dead. Okay? You don't have to go through that lobotomy. Then the second thing. However, this is like not so happy. Okay? Not so easy. Forgiving isn't about whether or not the person deserves forgiveness or not. It isn't about whether they deserve forgiveness or not. And this is mostly what's keeping us from actually doing the forgiving, is that we have this fantasy of forgiveness. Here's how it goes, okay? See if this reverberates in your mind. You know, somebody really hurt you. Somebody like really, really betrayed you. They walked out on you, whatever. And you're sitting there like holding this grudge, 5, 10, 15 years. And the fantasy is that one day they'll come to you and they'll say, you know, I've been thinking about it for the last 15 years, pretty much every day. And, you know, I know I really wronged you. And you go, yes, you did. Yeah, and I know that. And I finally realized that. And I haven't been able to sleep for 15 years. And you know, I'm really, really sorry for what I did to you. You go, yeah, well, you should be. Yeah, you know, I really am. And you know, I'm begging you, please, won't you forgive me? And we go, all right, I'll deign to forgive you. See, that's our fantasy. How many times has that actually happened in your life? No, I did this talk one time, and somebody actually said that some version of that happened to them once. So there was one person out of 40, 50 people that happened to once. And that's about the odds of that happening to you with the person that you're so angry at about, see? That's about the odds. You can't wait for that to happen. Every moment that goes by that you're waiting for that to happen is another moment that you're suffering. See? By holding on to it, you see? So don't wait for that. It's a unilateral, and what do you call it? Unilateral and proactive. What's the other thing? Preemptive. It's a preemptive strike. Preemptive and unilateral. Whether or not you deserve it or not, whether or not you've asked for forgiveness or not, whether or not you're going to say I'm sorry too, you do it anyway. See, you do it. Why? For you. So that's the other thing, right? You're not forgiving them for their sake. You're not forgiving them for their sake. You're forgiving them for your sake. You want to live a happy life, and you cannot live a happy life unless you have forgiven them. Now, here's another one. This is mostly for the men in the group, okay? Forgiveness isn't an act of weakness. It isn't an act of weakness. And if you think it's an act of weakness, well, then it shouldn't be so hard for you to do it. See, all you need to know about like how it isn't an act of weakness is to actually have to do it sometime or try to do it, and you'll realize what kind of strength it takes to do it. See, Gandhi said this, right? The weak can never forgive. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. See, it takes strength to forgive. Okay? So don't get that wrong, okay? Don't think it's an act of capitulation. Oh, if I forgive them, then that means that I capitulate and they're right and I'm wrong, or something like that. See, it's not capitulation. It isn't losing. Who's losing if you don't forgive? You see, who's really the loser there in that scenario? As you're running with scissors, hurting yourself because you are not forgiving. So don't think it's losing, it's winning, right? And then finally, okay, it isn't something that you do once in a while. It's like, okay, I'll go home from Bodhi Tree tonight, and I'll like sit down, have a dinner first, okay, and then I'll have to get some of my strength up. And then tonight at like 7 o'clock, I'll sit down for half an hour, I'll forgive everybody, and then I'll be done with it. See, I'll punch out. And I can start, living my life again. See, ongoing. And it's a kind of a skill. Forgiveness is a kind of a skill. And you have, like any other kind of skill, you have to practice it. You have to practice forgiveness. So the way to forgive the people that hurt you, the really big ones, the hard ones in your past, is to practice, to get the strength to do it, to get the forgiveness exercises. It's like going to the forgiveness gym. All day long, you go to the forgiveness gym, and it's like somebody makes a mistake, and you forgive them. So somebody takes your parking place, I forgive you. I don't care. So you practice forgiveness daily, all day long. And then you're building up the forgiveness muscles that will make it possible for you actually to do the thing that you don't want to really do. The thing that you don't really want to do. You have to have strength to do it. You don't really want to forgive them. But you have to like use all these kinds of ammunition. You have to use your buddhi. You have to use buddhi yoga. And say like, is it actually possible for me to be happy without forgiving? Is that possible, do you think? See, and you work that out. You say like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I could somehow go through life with a grudge and with resentments and be happy at the same time. Let's see if that's possible. And you use your buddhi, use your intellect to think like, is that possible? And if that's not possible, then, well, what are my alternatives? Should I wait for everyone who ever hurt me to come and do that like fantasy forgiveness, kind of scenario that I've put in my head? Well, you think that's realistic? You think that's going to, see? And you work it out. And you realize at a certain point, because you've used your mind, because you've used your logic, because you have understood what's in your own self-interest, you say, okay, I have to do the thing that I really don't want to do. I have to forgive.